So good to be here again. And thank God that we have another opportunity to continue with this lesson. These short videos are meant to show you something that it may not take a day to resolve. It may not even take a week, it may take more than a month. In fact, for some people, it needs you unpeeling the reasons, just like you could unpeel the onions or cabbage. So we are talking about something that is beyond the conscious level of your mind, something that is what the psychologists will call the subconscious, but it goes beyond just the subconscious. You see, when you are asleep, there is a part of you that keeps you alive. You are not breathing consciously. Even when you are not asleep, the breathing process is not a conscious thing. It happens from your heart. And that tells the whole story. But you see, for you to really get what we're talking about, this has to be broken down. They are these facts written in the scriptures. And of course, nowadays, science has caught up with it and has actually broken it down at the scientific level to help us understand what happens. But let me quickly say that the heart is the very core of your life. Your heart is the very center of your life. What that means is, or what I'm trying to say there is that if your heart stops pumping the blood, your physical body stops existing. And what we understand from the Bible is that the body without the spirit is dead. Now, when the blood stops flowing, the spirit departs from the body. Without wanting to take you too deep into what this is all about, I want us to read again that Bible passage, which we started with, and then we continue from there. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. This is from the NIV translation, NIV, New International Version. It says, above all else. That is very instructive. Above all else. That is as if your life depends on this. And I would like to add, because your life depends on this. What do we hear here? Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That is serious enough. In other words, when I'm succeeding without having any spiritual influence, and of course, many of these things still you can link them to the heart, because the moment the heart catches the revelation from the word of God backed up by the Spirit, the whole person gets freed. Many times, motivational speaking, the people who make the speeches, they say things assuming that you have that freedom from within. But many people are going through their own heart sabotage. They are being sabotaged by their own hearts, by their self-conversation, by the things they have not been able to disclose to others, or have the knowing and the understanding and the ability to rise up and confront these things that are hidden underneath the iceberg factor. What is seen at the top is just an iceberg of the massive thing that is underneath the water. So the issues of life, as used by King James Version says, keep your heart with all diligence. That's good enough. It says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. Now, that does not really allow us to understand using the contemporary English that we're using today, using the understanding of the daily usage of, say, the word spring. For out of it spring the issues of life. That's not really clear for some people or most people, which is why we use NIV translation that says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. I want to make the point that everything you do, many times when you are not conscious of the fact that something could go wrong, when you are conscious of the fact that nobody is watching, when you feel at liberty to be yourself, or sometimes when you are reacting or responding to something that just happens suddenly, that is one of the times when the things that are hidden in our heart flow forth. So, how do we relate this? We are saying that many of the reasons why we cannot communicate are as a result of the things that are hidden in our hearts. Might be struggling with trying to express yourself beyond what your upbringing allowed you to. You might be struggling with trying to overcome the experiences you had that you concluded before now that is the level you are at. So you are the one that is looking at yourself with a different lens from what the other person is looking. And sometimes that is nothing anybody else can do. There is nothing anybody else can do to help you as per being able to extract whatever is disturbing you on the inside. Instead, some people just keep discussing with themselves, having a self-image that is less than what others know them to be, or having the internal conversation that brings them down, that saddens them. There are people who look at the mirror, just using this as an example, look at the mirror and they are the ones that they are their worst critic. They criticize themselves. Or I heard a story from a fellow pastor who said one of the members would not want to come on the Zoom. And why? She hates the person she sees there. Has she been able to disclose that to anybody? Maybe not. All others are receiving are just the reactions to how she feels against herself. So many of the things we do, even though we would have felt better if we could find other people to blame, point accusing finger, it is because my spouse did this, that's why I reacted that way. But the truth is, the things that are coming out of you, we can liken it to an orange that is being squeezed. Assuming you are going through a challenging time, what comes out of you is saying the things that are within. And many of the reactions, we are not reacting to what is happening now. We're not reacting to the person we are with, but we are reacting to the things stored up. Now, isn't it challenging or interesting to note? It says that it likens the human heart or the human mind to a city. Now, if you are able to break that down, if we can unpack that, like some people will say, then you will see that there is more to the human person than just the physical person. He said that anyone that cannot control himself is like a broken down city. The city of that war. In those days, they used the walls to defend. It's like a broken down wall of a city. So you need a well secure place to be able to do the things you're supposed to do. Again, this is to emphasize the point that beyond just what the psychologist may try to say is what the other person that what the other person that many of the struggles in marriages, they come from the upbringing or up their growing up days, the things that have been that have impacted your spirit or your soul, and they are beyond what your mind can think of. They are now remote controlling you from your heart. Well, um, like I said, we are beginning to reach out to people to help them. And especially you are in the business world, corporate world, and you discover there are certain things you do, you know they shouldn't be. In your conscious mind, you know they shouldn't be, but your heart keeps bringing it out. Or when you are alone, you are struggling with these things, trying to deny this is not who I am, but why did I do that? We are here to help you. Book a time that you can have a chat with me, and then we explore these things, and we have what is called a clarity session where we are clear about what is happening. Look forward to the next video, and God bless you, and talk to you then. Bye for now.